I think I've lost count the amount of times that people have said in the comments, where's the UNAS Pro, where's the UNAS Pro, where's the UNAS Pro? Well, I've now managed to get my hands on one and I'm bringing this review to you. Hey everyone, my name is Monty and welcome to Inside Wire. We're going to take a look at the NAS, we're going to get some drives installed in it and see what it can and can't do. First, these are the items you do get inside the box, so it's very minimal. The NAS unit itself, and then you get yourself a hardware kit that we've come to see in most Ubiquiti devices. Inside here, you'll get yourself a power cable. This is a European one, unfortunately. In the UK, we do get sent a separate cable, and hopefully they will release a new cable that fits the Ubiquiti design for the UK. Other than that, you get the hardware kit inside here with all the screws that you need, so you can see how many screws are in there. And we get the 2U rack mount ears as well, so we can get these rack mounted. Taking a look at the device, we have the LCD screen that we've come to see on most devices, and we have 7 drive bays that we can populate with any drive size that we need. We have a 1 gig Ethernet port here and a 10 gig SFP plus port right here, should you wish to connect via 10 gig. Taking a look at the back, we have 2 big exhaust fans on here to keep the heat down inside. We have the plug here where we can pop in our power cable, and if you have an RSP, you can go ahead and connect this to the redundant power supply. So let's get this plugged in and powered up and see what we can do with it. So we've plugged the UNAS Pro into the network and we've gone into a 10 gig SFP plus port, and we can see right here, we can see the IP address of it right here as well, and on the right hand side we've selected it. If I go in and type in 10.1.1.1.3.1, you can see the UNAS Pro appears behind me. Now I have set this up before, so if you want to restore from a backup, you can log into your UI account. For the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to start from scratch. So let's click next, and you can log into your UI account here or create a new one if you don't already have one. If you choose to proceed without a UI account, you have these options that are restricted that you're not able to use. So if you want to do that, you'd have to agree and continue, but I do have a UI account, so I'm just going to click sign in. So there we go, I've logged straight in and it's asking if I want to restore from a backup, and then it's showing me the date, and I can restore all apps, but again, I'm going to continue. There is an option that's right behind me. You can see behind me it says continue without backup, so we're going to go ahead and click that. Now I have 2 10TB drives installed in here, and we can have the basic protection, which we have at least 2 drives for, or you can have the higher protection, which you need at least 4 drives. So I don't have that yet. And if you want to have a hot spare, I don't have enough drives installed in this, but if you want to have a hot spare, you can also enable that too. So we go and click finish, and it's as simple as that to go through the initial setup of the UNAS Pro. Let's start with the UI itself. So it's very easy and simple. There's not a lot to it. So we have the main dashboard where we have all the throughputs and the drives and the file services and the active connections. For example, for file services, if you wanted to know how to access it, you can just click a button and it will take you straight to it. We have all the drives that are set up on the network, and then we have the trash. So that's the main dashboard. The rest of it is all within the settings. We have the backups, so if you want to set up a backup. We have a snapshot, so if you want to set up any snapshots for this. Shared links, services, where again, this is where it took us to the file services, but you also have web access. And if you have the option to encrypt the drives, we have push notifications. We have the control panel where we have all the updates. You can see the current version that we're running just here. Integrations, backups, storage. So again, we can see the rebuild time is about 13.5 hours on this. The console itself, so if you want remote access, want to enable SSH or any features or any support files. And then finally, the push notifications. We then have the admins, the users and user identities, and we'll come back and we'll cover that again in a few moments. So let's cover each of these sections. Let's start with the backups themselves. So you can actually offload your data from the UNAS Pro and back it up somewhere else. Now, the way to do this is you can select the data, so you can select a drive that you want to back up. It doesn't have to be everything, it can be your critical files. And then you have a few different options. You can go to another remote UNAS. So that would be on a drop down here. Unfortunately, I only have one, so I can only show you that one, but it shows that you could have a second one set up as a redundancy. We have CIFS and SMB shares, so you can type in a drive, connect to that. I do have another NAS on this network, so I could show you by connecting to that if you wanted to see that way. And we have Google Drive, so you can link your account and have it upload, and you can have it upload all your data to Google Drive. So it really depends. You have a few different options in terms of how you wish to back things up. And then there's a few rules underneath it. It's a little bit blurred out, but you can see it under here. Either we can folder update or folder replace, and then you can choose a schedule on how frequently or how often you want this to occur. So backups are really easy and simple to set up on here. Snapshots are literally what it says. It takes a snapshot of your drive, and you can keep up to 4096 across all your drives. But if you click on them, each drive can only have a maximum of 128 snapshots. Again, you can schedule these daily, weekly, monthly, and how often you want to keep that retention of the backup. So if it's something that's worked on more regularly, perhaps it's something you want to do daily. But if it's not as frequent, maybe it's something you want to do weekly or even monthly. The person that you want to be able to gain access, you need to be able to set the file service credentials. So you go to admin and users, and then also you click on settings at the top just here, and then you're greeted with this little menu down here. So you have the file services credentials, and you can click on this. It allows users to log in via SMB and maps it as a local drive. So we can click this, type in a username, and also pop in a password, and then they will be able to access the 2 drives that you can see listed down here below. And then you click apply changes. That's going to log out any sessions that's there at the moment, and then you can log back in. So now if we bring this back and we type in the username and password that we just set, you can see that's now giving me 2 options that I can get access to. It's either a personal drive or a shared drive, so we can go ahead and click OK. If I bring my Finder window across, you can see I have my personal drive right there, where I can get access to the file that is currently saved on there. You can also encrypt individual drives as well if you want to do so, and you can select each one that you wish to do so. Do keep in mind that it does impact the performance of the drive, and if you want to see what sort of performance between hard drives or solid state drives, I have a video that I released on this previously, so you can go back and have a look at that if you want to. We also have a bunch of push notifications, so you can go ahead and enable these if you want. These are currently all email at this point, but there's quite a few there if you want to know about them. We then go to control plane, where we have the updates, any integration, so this is SNMP, the backups of the software itself, so not the data within, but the actual backup of the UNAS itself. So if you need to restore it to something else, you can do. The console storage, the storage console, so this is telling you about the drives and the basic protections, but you can see we have 2 and it's still initializing at this point. We have the console settings. I think I showed you this a little bit earlier. And then again, we have a few more push notifications. Now for the admins themselves, you have the option to create new admins if you want. And if we manage the roles, you can have a look within here what they are. You have the option of the drive, so full management or none. There's nothing in between that. And the control plane. There is either full management, view only, or none. So you've got a few different options just there. I would think there would be some view only on the drive as well, but that doesn't seem to be there at this point, so you can create any custom roles that you want. If we go to users, you can create any users you want here, so we can go test user 1. You don't have to pop in an email at this point, I don't believe. And if you want to give them access to shared drives, you can go and select that here, and you can give them owner, editor, or viewer rights to this. And then we go ahead and create. It does have a pop-up for access identity, but we'll cover that in just a few moments. So you can see right here, it's a pending invitation. We didn't pop in an email, so it's not gone to anywhere. But if you want to create a local account that can just access the file shares, then we can just type in test and then type in a password. And then that creates the account for that user themselves. So then they can then map drives locally, so you don't have to use the UID part. For the identity itself, there's a few different options you can do. So it auto sends an invite when the user has an email address. So that sends them a UID email, and what that looks like. And that looks a little bit something like this. So you can go ahead and click the install point. So you can go ahead and set this up, download the UniFi identity endpoint manually if you have the identity part set up. That's another video that I will be covering soon. Once you've gone and installed it, you can go ahead and load your credentials. Once you load your credentials, you'll see something like this pop up in the corner and you're now logged in. So I actually have a couple on here. So I have my home where we have the one-click VPN, but that's not a topic for this video. Maybe we'll cover that in another one. But we have the UNAS Pro itself, and then you can go ahead and click this, and then it loads up your drives that you have in a web browser. However, at this point, there's something you can do to integrate it into your file share, and we'll have a quick look at that. So you can see currently there's no drives mapped, and if we go up here and we'll say enable auto integrate, and then it's locally connected. If we go from here then and we click network, you can see we're greeted with 2 different options. We have the UNAS Pro or this one. So we can go ahead and click this, and you can see it's connected up here. So it's already connected via this app here. And then we can click on the personal drive, and again, we can see the screenshot that we were in there earlier. So really easy and simple to get set up. And I believe this is a similar case for a Windows machine as well. That's the same as the Mac. There is one area that we didn't quite cover, and it it's not really covered in any other area as such really, and that's creating a shared drive. So you can go ahead here and click add shared drive. We'll call it test IW share, and then you can actually enforce a storage limit on it if you want, so a gig or terabyte, however much you want to do, and you can then add the users that have permissions to it. So if I click add users, you'll see that the admin is already in charge of it, so it's set as the owner. But we can also set test1 as the owner as well, so we can go and add that, and you can have multiple owners if you wish to do so. Or if you wanted to give someone viewer rights or even editor rights, you could just simply do that and get that set up here. And that is pretty much it to getting your UNAS Pro set up from start to finish. It's quite simple, it's straightforward, there's not a lot to it. It is literally just your basic network file share. So setting up the permissions, sending links, options, sending links, sharing files, creating shared folders are really easy and simple to do. If there's anything else you want to see specifically, let me know down in the comments, and maybe in a future video I can go ahead and include this. For now, this is Inside Wire, and I'll see you in the next one.